Wetlands are landscape sinks, making them vulnerable ecosystems. Wetlands need our protection because they are valuable. They provide erosion control along lakes and stream banks. They slow runoff water, minimizing floods. Wetlands store nutrients and pollutants in the soil, filtering our water. They provide places to canoe, hunt, fish, and enjoy nature. Wetlands also provide an ideal location to educate the public. Flocks utilize these wetlands during their migration. The wetland offers protection and food to allow the birds to continue on to their final destination. Wetland ecosystems are often undervalued. They are one of the most biologically diverse systems on Earth and provide products such as fish, rice, cranberries, and medicinal plants. Wetlands provide wildlife habitat for many animals. Amphibians, reptiles, aquatic insects, and certain mammals need wetlands as a place for their young to be born and grow. It has been estimated that freshwater wetlands hold more than 40% of the world's species, including 12% of all animal species. These wetlands are extremely important in supporting high numbers of endemic species. Wetlands provide a nursery habitat for fish and birds alike. Phragmites australis, also known as common reed, is a highly aggressive wetland plant growing up to 5 meters tall. This plant forms impenetrable stands that quickly outcompete native plants. Phragmites degrades large areas of highly productive shorelines. These monospecific stands create reduction in the species diversity. Phragmites is a resilient plant, and certain physical characteristics allow this plant to continue to expand its distribution. Phragmites is known as a clonal rhizomatous grass, meaning that it has a stem that sends out roots and shoots from its nodes. This is called a rootstock. This invasive Eurasian strand began invading about 150 years ago. It is found along the tidal marshes on the Atlantic coast, the Great Lakes, inland brackish wetlands of the Great Basin found in Nevada, and the Gulf of Mexico. There are many factors when it comes to the distribution of Phragmites. One includes the proximity to agriculture. Poorly drained soils or high runoff potential soils offer a better competitive edge for Phragmites due to the increase in nitrogen. The distribution drivers of Phragmites can be divided into two categories: abiotic, which include the climate, topography, and soil, versus the biotic, which mainly is focused around the human influences. Human factors produced favorable conditions for the growth of Phragmites. Close proximity to developed areas and dense road networks promoted colonization and persistence of this common reed. Phragmites is considered an indicator of wetland disturbances, because a wetland with intact vegetation will have fewer opportunities for Phragmites to colonize. Phragmites typically occur on bare, unvegetated, moist soils after water levels have receded. Invasive Phragmites displaces native species, reducing the plant biodiversity. Duckweed, native cattail, and wild rice are a few examples of the native species that are outcompeted by Phragmites. Phragmites is a very opportunistic species with rapid expansion on bare, unvegetated, moist soils. The species typically invades starting from the upland fringes of the wetland. There are many methods used to limit the expansion of Phragmites, some of which include cutting, flooding, burning, herbicide application, or a combination of any. These treatments must be repeated annually or biannually to maintain the benefits. The cost to control common reed is enormous, and sustained impacts are hard to achieve. Mowing does little to reduce Phragmites dominance because this plant is a perennial rhizomatous grass. In some cases, mowing actually stimulated the shoot production, which resulted in an increase in density of this plant. However, if you cut before flood season, there have been reports that this improved the control of Phragmites. Cutting is less effective when the soils are sandy or aerated. Cutting and then covering stubble for one growing season was an effective mean for controlling common reed. However, this is labor-intensive and can only be used on a small scale. Removal or mulching of the stubble after it has been cut has been recommended. Burning is another method used to control the distribution of Phragmites. However, it's ineffective unless it's paired with a herbicide application. In North America, herbicide has been the primary tool used to control and eliminate Phragmites. However, there is a lack of data on the long-term impacts of the herbicide application, not only on Phragmites, but on non-targeted species. An active ingredient commonly found in herbicides is glyphosate. It is taken up by the plant's epidermis and moved to the root system through the vascular tissue. It interferes with the amino acid synthesis. In 2003, the EPA approved imazapyr, which targets broad-chained plant-specific amino acids in the meristematic region. It is translocated below ground to kill the rhizomes, and it's taken up by the plant leaves and roots. It's more effective than glyphosate in controlling common reed. Worldwide plant communities are changing rapidly in response to human alterations of the landscape. We need to take a closer look at how our lifestyles affect the wetlands. We don't want to lose such a precious place.